Tasha K, a media personality known for her fearless commentary and unapologetic delivery, once again found herself at the center of controversy when she turned her attention toward Teyana Taylor. This time, however, the situation felt different. The implications of what was said were heavier, more personal, and far more unsettling than the usual celebrity chatter that circulates online. Almost immediately, audiences sensed that this was not just another rumor meant to spark momentary outrage or fuel engagement. The claim went beyond Teyana's music, her public image, or even her professional choices. Instead, it appeared to touch something deeply private, something connected to her personal life and emotional well-being. That distinction alone made people uneasy. As soon as the allegation surfaced on social media, it spread rapidly. Within hours, conversations erupted across platforms. Screenshots were shared, clips were reposted, and hashtags began trending, all centered around Teyana's name. What initially looked like commentary quickly escalated into something far more serious, especially as whispers of potential legal action began to circulate. The online space became charged with speculation, concern, and debate. Fans, critics, and casual observers alike struggled to understand the magnitude of what had been implied and what it could mean moving forward. Because of that reputation, the sudden emergence of claims that threatened to expose intimate aspects of her life felt particularly jarring. It wasn't just shocking, it was destabilizing. Teyana is not someone who reacts impulsively, so when something provokes a response from her, it tends to signal seriousness. That understanding shaped the public's reaction. People weren't simply watching gossip unfold. They were waiting to see whether a woman known for measured responses would finally be pushed to draw a line. The claims themselves were incendiary, not only because of their content, but because of the certainty with which they were delivered. While some online users attempted to frame the statements as speculation or entertainment, the tone suggested something more definitive. The language implied insider knowledge, which made the allegations feel heavier and more damaging. Unlike fleeting entertainment rumors that dissolve after a few days, these statements touched on deeply sensitive territory. Once released, they could not be easily dismissed or forgotten. Teyana's fans reacted swiftly and emotionally. Many rushed to her defense, expressing anger that anyone would publicly speculate about such personal matters. Others expressed confusion, grappling with the tension between free expression and respect for personal boundaries. Amid the chaos, one thing became clear very quickly. This situation was not going to fade quietly into the background. True to form, Teyana initially remained silent. There were no immediate social media explanations, no public rebuttals, and no interviews addressing the claims. That silence sparked its own wave of interpretation. Some viewed it as vulnerability, while others saw it as quiet strength. For those who understood her past behavior, it was strategic. Teyana's silence has never been passive. It is deliberate, calculated, and purposeful. In moments like this, staying quiet allows her to maintain control over a narrative that cannot yet be responsibly addressed in public. It was within this context that the next development became so significant. When news broke that Teyana had taken legal action, the tone of the entire conversation shifted. Legal measures are not symbolic gestures. They signal that a boundary has been crossed in a way that words alone cannot fix. Once courts become involved, online chatter transforms into formal accountability. Legal action, especially for a public figure, is a serious and often difficult decision. It requires documentation, legal strategy, and an understanding that every step will be scrutinized publicly. When Teyana chose that route, it sent a clear message. This was no longer a matter of opinion or internet drama. Real-world consequences were now in play. The announcement sent shockwaves across social media. Fans were stunned. The same platforms that had been filled with speculation and commentary were suddenly forced to confront reality. This was no longer hypothetical. Reputation, credibility, and potentially financial consequences were now on the line. The narrative shifted from entertainment to seriousness almost overnight. Supporters of Teyana expressed relief and validation. Many praised her decision, arguing that taking legal action was a powerful way to enforce boundaries in an era where private lives are routinely dissected for content. They saw it as a stand not just for herself, but for anyone subjected to harmful speculation in the digital age. At the same time, critics emerged, framing the move as an attempt to silence commentary or restrict free speech. This division highlighted the complexity of the situation. The tension at the heart of the debate was undeniable. Where does commentary end and harm begin? How much responsibility does a commentator have when discussing personal matters, even involving public figures? The court of public opinion offered no easy answers. Still, one thing was universally acknowledged: the stakes had changed. What began as viral content had evolved into a serious legal and cultural moment. Understanding Tasha K's role in this escalation is essential. She is no stranger to controversy and has built her platform on bold, unfiltered commentary. Supporters argue that she speaks truths others avoid, while critics accuse her of recklessness and sensationalism. In this case, the delivery of the claims mattered as much as the claims themselves. The confidence, specificity, and reach amplified their impact. What made this moment particularly compelling was how silence itself became a form of power. By refusing to engage publicly, Teyana allowed the story to unfold without her emotional participation. Her legal action served as both protection and signal. It showed restraint while underscoring seriousness. In a culture driven by immediate reactions, this deliberate pause demanded attention. As media coverage intensified, analysts and commentators dissected every angle. Discussions expanded beyond the individuals involved to address broader issues of privacy, accountability, and the ethics of online commentary. Would this case set a precedent? Could it influence how bloggers and commentators approach sensitive topics in the future? These questions drew in audiences who might not have otherwise engaged. As the legal process continued, the public followed closely. Every update was analyzed. Every statement, or lack of one, was interpreted for meaning. The story became less about scandal and more about consequence. Careers, reputations, and public trust all hung in the balance. What makes this moment resonate so deeply is the human element beneath the spectacle. Celebrities are often treated as brands rather than people, their lives reduced to narratives for public consumption. In this case, Teyana's decision to act reminded audiences that fame does not erase personal boundaries. By asserting control over her story, she reclaimed agency in a space that often strips it away. The situation also exposed the psychology of online culture, where dramatic claims spread faster than verified facts. Engagement often outweighs empathy. Yet, Teyana's response forced audiences to confront the real impact of their attention. This was no longer entertainment. It was real. The story is still unfolding, but its significance is already clear. Teyana Taylor's legal action represents resilience, self-respect, and the courage to defend one's dignity under relentless scrutiny. It challenges assumptions about celebrity culture, freedom of expression, and accountability. Ultimately, it underscores a universal truth. Protecting one's identity and humanity in the public eye requires strategy, patience, and strength that undull and more about consequence. Careers, reputations, and public trust all hung in the balance.